So, with 2 games left of the season, there's 3 points that keep us in the playoff places as things stand. Considering the way the last 4 games have gone, I'm not expecting this to go smoothly. See you after the intro. Hey guys, what's going on? There's one addendum to make, by the way, and that's the fact that Fulham have already just been beaten by Leeds in this weekend's fixtures. They can't capitalise. Because of Fulham's loss to Leeds already, if we win this match against Oxford, that's it. We're in the playoffs. Because Palace are already there with us anyway, it doesn't matter if they leapfrog us on the final day, just 5th or 6th at that point. And we have a 4-point lead on everyone else in this division. So if we win this game now, then we're in the playoffs no matter what. Oxford will be fighting though, because they have a 4-point lead over 22nd place Millwall. If they win this match, they're in this division next year. So for both teams, a win is vital. The fact that Fulham have already played Leeds does kind of annoy me because it's taken a little bit out of this match. That said, Edgar's back, so that's great news. And it's basically the only change I need to make for this particular game. So, Dutra, Davila, Borges, Edgar, Chow, Wilson, Squires in the cell in midfield, Madeira and Evans back in the inside forward roles, Shot up front. No, actually, I'm swapping him out. He's had 2 indifferent games, and in fact, really, he's only had 1 good game out of the last 5. King is going to be with us for a few years. Maybe lacking a bit of mass sharpness, but we're going to go with it. He signed a new contract recently, and all of a sudden, we're on a run again. Amazing what difference 2 games makes, eh? I'm noticing they just seem to be significantly less fresh. I say significantly. For most of them, marginally less fresh. A couple of them, significantly less fresh. Wilson scored. It's 1-0. 8 minutes gone. Playoffs guaranteed as things stand. In fact, 5th guaranteed as things stand. Weird angle on this highlight to begin with, but here we are. Nissel puts it in. Wilson just completely unmarked. It's well, it looked almost like we deliberately did that. It's well worked, realistically, as a corner. Onside, evidently. And there's 3 people playing him onside there. I didn't see who Crystal Palace were playing. I will bring up... No, it's not the bun. I will bring up the scores. Palace are away at Birmingham. It's the top of the list, which is good. But as long as we win, we're in the playoffs no matter what. But Luton are home to Hull. Glover smashed that one in. Right, let's watch this in 3D. Dickey. All the way. Bloody hell, that's an assist. Dutra rushes out. I don't think his rushing out is particularly high, so that is a little surprising. Oh, I like him. But a media highlight from the kickoff. I mean, draws all round guarantee us the playoffs as well. It's worth noting that. Like, if everyone draws, then we're in the playoffs as well still. In fact, as long as Luton draw. Anyway, Madeira now on this near side. Few options. Goes for Nissel. He sees the run of Davila on the outside. Davila smashes it against number 4, or tackle. I'm not sure what happened. Squires back to Davila. Across the box to Ebersbach. Smashes the bar. Good news, everyone. This highlight does continue, but I suspect we've seen the most of it. Although, slightly panicking now. Dealt with. Luton are losing. Luton are drawing. Luton are winning. What's happening at Luton? Absolute scenes at Luton right now. Scenes at Birmingham as well, as all of a sudden in the space of 10 minutes it goes from 0-0 to 2-1. Madness all over the place in the teams that are involved in this playoff mix. Luton go from 1-0 down to 3-1 up in the space of 5 minutes. Palace go from 0-0 to 2-1 in the space of 10. Meanwhile, not a great deal happening here. There is a corner which is punted clear by Watmow. Green has rounded Shao quite easily. It is forced to take an earlier shot by number 13. I think that's Borges. And that was it. That was the quality of the highlight. Okay. Win it for the fans. Never often works, but we'll see what happens here. Throw in for Oxford, who, as things stand, everything's fine for because Millwall are losing. So they don't need to win this at all at this point. A point's fine for them. A loss is fine for them as long as Millwall lost. King's through. Madeira. Oh, Madeira's touch is a bit questionable. If he kept that in, he would have had a chance to shoot himself. That's bounced around. Oh, no. I thought the goalie had it. I thought the goalie had that in his hands. He doesn't, and it's 2-1 Oxford. You don't need to win this anymore, Oxford. Millwall are fine. Millwall are losing at this point. See, it was hard to see in 3D what happened there. Sorry, it was hard to see in 2D. 3D really didn't clear it up, actually. There were some leaps, there were some blocks, there was some things going on, but the ball went in the net. King's smashed wide. And things are suddenly a little bit tight again because Luton are winning and we're losing, so they're 1 point behind going into the final day, and they can do it. Stoke, however, are not capitalising on the fact we're losing. If Stoke win their game, which they are not, I don't think they're playing, actually. I'm not sure if Stoke are even playing right now. Madeira the goalkeeper. If Stoke win their game, we play them on the final day. So as long as they're within 3 points, they can leapfrog us on the final day if they beat us. But they can only get to 72 points if they win their game whenever it is. So they still will have Luton ahead of them. Fulham are also, I think, in the picture, but I'm not sure about their goal difference. But Fulham, but the issue, of course, is if we're losing, that means Stoke are winning, and they'll be ahead of Fulham regardless. So as long as Stoke win their game, then Fulham are out of this. Of course, the Palace still exist, actually, now I think about it. So there's another team that these teams could leapfrog. So UK are 6.2. Right. On the one hand, we've got Callum Nassell, who overperforms his statistics by a vast margin. Meanwhile, you've got Hugh King, whose stats are this: 15 finishing, 16 dribbling, great physicals, great mentals, 14 technique too to boot. 6.2. Oi South's coming on. Shanley's coming on from Madeira as well, who's not had his best game either. I think Dutra's taken the blame for that goal. Right, I'm just going to get Nassell to punt balls through. 4 clear chances, 2 half chances, 10 shots on target in total to their 5. Hull have equalised against Luton, which is actually kind of big. South, just wide, just south of the goal. Living up to his name there. The Hull equaliser is actually pretty massive because I'm pretty certain Luton's goal difference is worse than ours. Squires, never mind, we've equalised ourselves. Squires' 3rd goal of the season. Despite the fact that last time he scored, it was his 1st goal of the season. I wasn't going crazy. He had scored before then. So the last goal he scored was the 2nd goal of the season for him. I'm not going crazy. Now for you, that was 2 days ago. For me, that was about 2 hours ago. Anyway, South on the ball. And a draw here guarantees us playoffs all of a sudden. A win here. Oh, he's offside. Apparently the assistant's flagging him. Give him a bottle of water. He'll be alright. I'm just looking at the tiredness of Ebbers back more than anything else. Lee Tell, on you come. Luton have scored. Luton have scored. There's still something to play for in this final game. I'm actually going to say unlucky. It was a weird one. It's another one of those pinball box goals that we've conceded. Apparently they can do with the rest. I mean, I've rested them basically the entirety of the week in between the matches. Oh! I know why I was going crazy last time I was on this page, because it said 1 goal. It was mid-match. They don't update it till after the game. I mean, the in-game thing where it said 1st goal of the season was wrong, and that was definitely wrong. This was correct when I was looking at that last time. I'm not going crazy. Stoke play later. Stoke have won 3-1. Right then. We play Stoke on the final day. Their goal difference is 16, ours is 13. They beat us, they leapfrog us. But we also maintain a 1 point advantage over Crystal Palace and a 1 point advantage over Luton. Palace only need to draw if we lose. Now, there's an interesting thing within this Davila Headed for Award title. Now, Davila has had a wonderful season on loan from Liverpool. Curiously, Victor Shot's in this list, despite the fact he only really started scoring in the 2nd half of the season. Most interestingly, Nicolas Velasquez is in this list, despite being injured in January. So, as we come to this crucial match, I'm just investigating one thing. On Borges' page, it says he's not a big match player. I'm looking at his past history. Reading, 7.2. Leeds, 7.7. Newcastle, 6.9. Wednesday, 6.8. United, 6.9. Palace, 7.4. Burnley, 8.7, but let's be honest, that was a 6-0. Watford, a 7.9, and he scored in that one. I'm not seeing in this a lack of big match mentality. Against all the other teams in the area that we're in, and the FA Cup matches, he's done very well. The 2 6.5s against Millwall and Bristol, admittedly no one really played well in those, but I was basically just contemplating taking him out just in case. So we have Stoke, obviously. Luton are away at Forest, Fulham are away at Blackburn, and Palace are at home to Lincoln, who are already relegated. Blackburn technically obviously have nothing to play for, neither do Forest, so the 2 away matches, the opponents are basically just pride more than anything. Realistically, we're the only match where the opponent has something to play for, and it's exactly the same thing we do. We are surprisingly massive favourites for it, though. I suspect the post-match guy will be saying, oh, we're very similar, but, you know. So defensively, I'm not quite a fan of this, but I think that is still our best 11. The team on the pitch is identical. I'm just going to be starting Shot just because over the course of the season he has been our better striker. Not massively prolific, but 13 goals is still 13. So with everything to play for, the rest of the team is unchanged. That's an attacking formation away from home. Good God. Neither team in great form over the last 5 in total, or 8 or whatever they measured the form off there. In terms of form standings, 3 minutes into the game, there's a highlight, and we have the ball now. That is ridiculous. If they score from this, thank God. Borges smashes the ball at our own play. It ricochets into their possession. I don't know what I just witnessed there. Anyway, the resulting corner goes nowhere, of course. So, we are 1 point ahead of Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are 1 point ahead of Luton. Luton are 1 point ahead of Stoke. Stoke are 1 point ahead against Fulham. This highlight continues for some reason. Squires has been tackled and highlight over. Thank God. So a corner for us now, beginning in the highlights. So something's happening. Borges doesn't enjoy big games. My arse. My coaches are useless. Anyway, Rodrigo, bang. Striker's finish, and you've got to laugh. You've got to laugh, really, haven't you? Anyway, we're winning this match, and then everyone else's results don't matter. As long as we win. Nacelle, Squires, outwards to Everton. Oh, doesn't quite get to him. Broom sweeps it up, and it makes its way over to Ribeiro on their far side, I suppose it would be. Gonçalves, good tackle, good anchor manning. Gonçalves comes forward, despite the fact his traits say he never comes forward. Arezzo, as a result, is now through. Great tackle from Borges, who doesn't enjoy big games. Tackle of the bloody season. So it's a thrilling final game, where no other highlights have occurred, and where also Luton are doing nothing against Forest so far, and Crystal Palace aren't beating Lincoln yet, and Fulham are also losing to Blackburn. I'm not quite sure why they're not starred, because they can't leave Fergus, but they can get into the playoffs, technically. If they win this match, they can get in the playoffs, because Palace aren't winning. I think they need Palace to lose, actually. Okay, motivation. I like that. Motivation. Good. Turned it to happy. Damn it. Motivation. So yeah, Fulham do need Palace to lose completely. So that one's out, as things stand. As long as Palace aren't losing to Lincoln, Fulham are out of this. Madeira, that's all I can say on that one. No one else. Well, I say no one else. Obviously, Stoke's one of the others. Palace and Luton not doing anything in their game still. Reading, meanwhile, winning their match against Brentford and have gone top. Ebersbach has been fouled in the box, and we have a penalty. Glad we stopped that run, by the way, of conceding penalties. Number 21 has stepped up on this. Is that Madeira? Victor Shot? No. Here we are. I know Madeira was taking them for some reason. Palace, I noticed in the top left, have just scored at the same time as us. 2-0 here, though. This is looking like it's a little bit more sewn up than it was. 2-0, though, and 35 minutes still to play, basically. Anything can still happen. Except for a 1-0, of course. And this second half is now vanishing the same way the first one did. I'm just looking at fitness more than anything. Lee Tower for Ebersbach, who was on sub-70. Everyone else is doing okay, despite the fact they said Davila and Shower are a bit tired. A couple of bookings, which I think do carry on to playoffs when they happen, so I just want to make sure nothing happens there. So Lent is on for Wilson, and Shanley on for Madeira. Just want to make sure there's no sendings off going into the playoffs here, which seem to be, with 4 minutes to go, Luton has scored. So unless this ties up, all of a sudden, unless they score 2 goals here, the fact that both the other teams are now winning just suddenly made this a little bit nervous. We scored a third. And I think we're okay. Although, tell the pitch of my voice that. Lee Tower heads back to Nacelle, and Nacelle play makes his way through to Shot. Domit, not his best work. Although he's got to be 30 plus. Yeah, 33. So he's got to be getting on a little bit now. And what did I tell you? Gary Fisher of BBC Radio York. I predicted a draw before the match, and to be honest, I'm surprised that York have been able to win this one. We were evens. They were 12-5 in the bookies match. Now, in fairness, I still believe the two sides are very similar, and this loss will have hurt Stoke. It will have hurt Stoke because they're not in the playoffs now. And in fairness, points-wise, in total, we were quite similar. That bit's accurate. I predicted a draw, though. Does not match what the bookie said. Well done, lads. Your performance has secured a playoff for us. Meanwhile, Reading win it. The Reading and Leeds got promoted out of it, so the Premier, technically now, Yorkshire Derby is gone, if we don't get promoted. And Palace joined us. But they didn't slip up at the end there either, which is good for them. The way these playoffs work is 3rd v 6th and 4th v 5th, I do seem to think. It's been a while since I've had to do a playoff. I think last time out with Bradford, in our second season, we ended up in the playoffs, and I think we got promoted via them. That was the way we got through to the Premier League last time. Admittedly, it took us a year longer, which is more natural than what's occurred here. Now, we are 10 points behind both of the Sheffield teams, so it would be a travesty if neither of them get promoted here. So, Sheffield Wednesday are the first ones we will face. I think that's how this works. So I'll bring you back for that. I'll see you tomorrow for those. And I think the way I'm going to do that is, I can't remember if the first one is just one leg. If the first stage is 2 legs, then I'll just bring you that as one episode, and if we get through, it'll be double upload, but you won't know that until the end of the first episode, because I will still upload the first episode at 5 o'clock. But if we do get through the first round of the playoffs, I will put the second round on. I'll upload it on the Saturday, I think. I won't do a double O, I'll just upload it on the Saturday. So I'll see you tomorrow for our playoff against Sheffield Wednesday. Until then, ta-ra.